Whew. So you guys should have figured out by now that density, volume, and mass are all different. Just because this has a bigger volume doesn't mean it sinks. And just because this has the greatest mass doesn't mean that it sinks either. Sinking and floating has to do with how much mass or matter is inside a certain volume. For example, the reason that that orange floats is because if we look inside, there's actually a lot of empty space. There's not as much mass inside a certain space, and that's what density is. How much matter is in a certain volume. So we're gonna write down our formula. We just have to take the amount of stuff inside a certain space. So we're gonna take the mass divided by the volume. We're gonna just do 2 examples today, and you're gonna spend the rest of the time practicing. One thing we have to remember from our lab last week, water's density is 1.0 grams per milliliter. What that means is that anything less than 1 is gonna float, and if it's greater than 1, that means there's a lot of matter in the same space, it's gonna sink. It floats if it's less than 1, it sinks if it's greater than 1. So let's look at example 1. Go ahead and write that down. I have the mass, the volume. Now I just need to plug them into my formula. Density equals mass divided by volume. So write that down. Density equals mass divided by volume. My density for this problem was 20 grams, and my mass was 5 milliliters. Grams divided by milliliters. So then I just do the equation. 20 divided by 5 is 4. And remember my units. My grams were from my mass, my milliliters were from my volume. So the density is 4 grams per milliliter. Let's do one more. In example 2, the volume is 3 milliliters. The mass is 15 grams. Density is mass divided by volume. That's always your first step. Write it down. My mass is 15. My volume is 3. 15 divided by 3. So that's going to be 3 is my volume, so that goes where V is. And 15 is my grams, that goes where my M is. 15 grams was my mass divided by 3 milliliters, which was my volume. 15 grams divided by 3 milliliters equals 5 grams per, that means I draw my slash, milliliters. It's that simple. You're going to find your mass, how much matter there is, and divide by the volume. That's the space that that matter takes up. That's it. Good luck.